Last week, I got my art website officially up and running, and these are the things that took up way more mental capacity or time than I expected them to. Number one was terms and conditions. I don't know why this stressed me out so much. Maybe part of it is anxiety. Maybe it's all that legal mumble jumble that you always see in people's like policies and terms and conditions. And it was so overwhelming. And I tried multiple different websites that would help me generate. Shopify's was just full of Shopify jargon, my personal email, all these things I didn't want out there. And a few others that offered free terms and conditions and policies and then made you sign up, and then there was nothing actually free or useful. You couldn't copy and paste it, you had to download it, you had to pay for it, and I was like, no, this ain't working. For me, what finally did work was a website. I think it was called Law Depot. I'll try and remember to put the link in the description. No affiliate. I'm affiliated with nothing here. But it is just what I used and worked pretty well. They had a 7-day free trial. I did have to sign up, but it looked like it covered completely everything. So that is what I've gone with for now. It is a Canadian company, so these are the terms and condition type stuff for Canada. Might be different for other countries, but it worked for me. The second thing I found to be very overwhelming was the whole concept of taxes. I think this, again, just comes back to legal things and government things. They overwhelm me and they stress out my neurospicy brain who has to make sure everything is perfect and correct or everything is going to melt and break down and die. And obviously that's not the case, but the narratives, sometimes they're noisier than others. So through my entrepreneurship program, thankfully, I get access to help with accounting. I asked the accountant and she said for Canada and BC, I don't technically need to worry about collecting taxes unless I'm going to hit 30,000. I don't remember if it's in a calendar year or a 12-month period, but as of right now, I am way, way under that. So I'm going to wait until I think I'm going to hit it, and I will deal with that then. Is the best solution? Maybe not, but it works. So we're rolling with it. When it does come to that point, though, I'm definitely going to need more help. But who knows? Maybe I can just have someone do it all for me by then. Anyways, on to the next thing. Next thing that took way more time than I expected it to was product photography and videography. I did have fun with it. I really tried to shift my mindset from this is going to take forever to let me have fun with this, because photography is something I legitimately do enjoy. So I created like a whole little set. I put anyways, I put books in crystals. I changed the plants. At one point, it got overwhelming because I was like, I don't know what plant to do next because I was changing the plant every like 2 or 3 paintings. But you know what? I had a lot of fun with it. Did it take a lot of time? Yeah. But was it fun? Yeah. And I really honestly love how it turned out. If you look at my shorts or reels, you'll be able to see some of that. Or obviously, I guess you could check out the website too. It's chloemorgan.ca. It will also be in the description. But yeah, really, really happy with how it turned out. But it did take like a solid day between getting close ups of the art and getting framed in perspective kind of photos without the glare. There was a lot of background glare. I didn't expect that. But I guess that's what happens when you put art in frames and have clear frames and it is bright and sunny. And then the other thing that I would say took a bit more time. I can't even say than I expected. I did expect it to take a lot of time, but it just took quite a good chunk of time in general, I guess I'll say, is creating a description and title for each of my paintings. I'm not someone who's ever really named my art, ever really. So trying to come up with names was new for me as I was creating the paintings. I knew this was going to be an issue I ran into. So I tried to think of names, have that in the back of my mind as I was painting them, as well as like a sentence or two to describe them. And so I think that did help a little bit when it came time to writing the description and titles. But I will say the nice thing about having it all on my own website instead of a marketplace like eBay or Etsy, which is what I've used in the past, I don't really have to worry about SEO and popping up in searches. If they're going to my website, they're there for my art, which is also just really, really exciting. So that was a huge relief. I have 3 or 4 paintings in that series that look very, very similar. So sometimes it was just black and purple roses 1, black and purple roses 2, black and purple roses 3. I don't know if that was the exact title, but you get the point. And just being like, you know what, it's okay. At the end of the day, the title isn't the biggest deal, especially being new in my art journey. So, yeah, those were the things that took more effort, brain capacity, or time than I expected to. But overall, I am happy with my website. Will I probably change things in the future? Yeah, but for now, it works pretty well. So, if you are an artist, if you are building your own site, I wish you all the best of luck, and I truly hope this helped. And in case I forgot to say where I built my website, it was using Wix, which was relatively easy, very drag and drop, copy paste. Well, maybe not copy paste, but you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes it was hard to find things. So my website building kind of looked like my cleaning, which is going from one section to another room, back and forth and back and forth. And then eventually it was one whole cohesive piece. But we got there, and that's what matters. If you've recently built your website or are in the process of it, like, what is the thing that's taking you longer than expected? Because, you know, knowing how long things are going to take definitely does help to like manage your time better, set those proper expectations on what's going to take how much time and how much time you need to set aside for it. For me, when I try to do really, really, really big projects and then give myself a very, very, very small deadline, it gets like really, really overwhelming and stressful. So knowing how to do that properly and what it should take and giving myself grace if it does take longer was very, very important for my neurospicy brain, and it definitely did help. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one.